So, it's 2014, and you just got a new computer or you got a new cell phone, and you're scrolling down your YouTube feed, and you find this video. Shrek is love, Shrek is life. You watch it. It seems sweet at first, and then it horrifies the fuck out of you. What is it? Well, in my opinion, Shrek is love, Shrek is life is about something very terrible that happens in society. What I mean by this is we've all watched movies growing up. We've all seen things like Shrek. We've seen, the usual things, the Beauties and the Beast and all the Disney stuff, Lady and the Tramp, all this type of stuff. We've seen Madagascar, just about everything you can think of. And what happens when you develop you develop something of a relation to those characters growing up? They represent more than just pixels on the screen. They represent a certain archetype. Now, when a kid is going through puberty, they start to find things on the computer, and things start to get messy. They might see drawings of these characters in positions they shouldn't be drawn in, and they might actually develop into some type of fetish or some type of fictitious fantasy. This is kind of a similar thing to Chris Chan that the internet warned us about. It warned us about the fetishization of these archetypes and these cartoons that we grew up with as a child, and developing an extremely unrealistic relationship with them. His dad walks in, calls him the other F word. And his father's reaction is extreme. But the son's reaction is extreme also. He says he's just jealous of my devotion for Shrek. So I call him a cunt. And he slaps me and tells me to go to sleep. And that's when the fantasy kicks in. That's when the fantasy kicks in of Shrek coming into his room, doing things to him, and then leaving. In Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life 2, what do we see as his teacher? Obviously, his teacher looks nothing like the character, but what do we see? What is represented in Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life 2? He turns around, and it's just as he'd feared. It's just as he'd imagined. It was Prince Charming this whole time. Now, this kid grew up with these fantasies, and this kid grew up with all these, basically sexually, releasing, always being some type of outlet, right? So what happens is he basically has a fantasy. He's thinking about raping his teacher. because the basically the thing is uh, this it's extremely dark, extremely dark. This character Shrek pops up and shoots him with his onion gun or something, onion zuka or something like that. Clearly some type of sexual innuendo. Shrek dominates this kid's life, but also he imagines this teacher being molested by Shrek, right? What this represents, in my opinion, is just how fucked up society has become, especially with Rule 34s and things that are now readily available. And kids are able to find these beloved characters that they grew up with, and they're able to relate to them in a very unhealthy way. When they start hitting puberty and they look for porn and they find Shrek nudes and shit, and it finally it gets to the third one where, you know, the smart boys in school are laughing at him, and he just gets plowed by Shrek. And this is exactly what we see in modern day society. Instead of school being about learning, it's about sexual orientation. It's about being fucked by sexual perversion and how these fantasies have become real, and in a very real and very sad and disheartening way. We have become the true and honest Christian by letting this happen in these schools, and we actually let this horrifying dimensional merge become a reality. Next time you watch an episode of Porn Rebuke, you need to think about that. We did that.